Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, everybody, what's up? You know what to do. Hit like, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and let's get after it. Hi, hello, and welcome to your favorite Average to Good podcast. Call it what you want. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Tony Meola and Charlie Davies, and we have a hell of a show for you today. First and foremost, we hope you had a great weekend. And then second, we got Folarin Balogun. He impressed his new boss for Monaco, scored the goal against Angers in their 1-1 draw. We'll get into it a little bit more. Christian Pulisic and Tillman, they are injured. We'll give some updates on that. Decision day, MLS happened this weekend. Got some fireworks there, some good storylines. That's exciting. We're going to have a Call What You Want MLS 2025 Awards for the season. A conversation with U.S. men's cerebral palsy national team captain Josh Brunais following Saturday's big Copa America win, their first major trophy in the history of the program. We're very excited to have Josh come on the show. However, we're going to get to the weekend first. Charlie Davies, coming to you. Any big wins for your U10 boys? What I mean, that should have been number one on the list for what we're talking about today. But how's it going?
Yeah, fantastic weekend. Wrapped up being in the booth with Brad Feldman for the New England Revolution. So it's always a good season working with him. But ultimately, the team didn't do their part. In terms of coaching, it was a tough weekend because it was one of those games where we played well. We didn't take our chances. We didn't generate enough shots. We went down 2-0 and we lost, ended up losing 2-1.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Listen, Tones, I kind of wish we could have like a proper interview process for Charlie after his games. Like, you throw him into one of those little corner things with all the brands behind him and he's got to answer hard questions.
Don't make me go Chris Armas on you. You guys were all going negative, man. Hey, you guys are coming at me from a negative point of view. I need you to be a little bit positive.
Tones, how about you? How was your weekend? You coaching any teams?
Yeah, it was good. First off, can we get like a camera on? Can we get a parent to like film? I want to see Charlie on the sideline.
I want to see
like.
I think he's a yeller.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't believe what he told us anyway. So I just want to see it on film. I want to see like.
You want to see old yeller out there? Yeah! Send it.
Yeah. Boot it long. That's what I want to hear one time. Just boot it.
I want to see Chuck just stalking down the sidelines, back and forth,
chirping in the assistant referee's ear, up and down the sideline,
wearing a suit. Like he's got a suit on.
What do you wear?
Nice what are you wearing, Chuck?
Polo? What do you wear?
Yeah, I wear the team gear, team issued gear.
All right.
Team issued gear. He's such a product of U.S. soccer. He said, "You got to wear a team issued gear, boys."
Team issued gear.
Team issued gear. I absolutely love it. Well, shout out to my girls. We won 2-0 this weekend. Good performance on both sides of the ball. And I would have had a hell of a press conference if you would have stuck a microphone in front of my face. Listen, we're working on some 1 and 2 touch type passing pattern type tempo type stuff. And we had like a 5-6 pass sequence, played a ball in behind, and my top forward who scored the most goals, she buried it from about 5 out. So pretty excited right now. It's cool when you see your stuff that you're working on practice come to life. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter what age you're coaching. It's just cool when you start to see what happens on the training field get extended and show itself on the big.
Tell the listeners, you guys and the viewers, you guys are finishing your course and you're going nuts now, putting the final touches on. What is it now? Training sessions?
Yes. So Charlie and I, for those that are unaware, are enrolled in the UEFA coaching course. We're currently getting our B license and we're at the end of it. Now I'm done with all my course, almost done. I did all my training sessions. You got to build out 15 hours of trainings. You have to have themes. And so I don't know, Chuck, I don't know which ones. I had one where I had to, attacks from out wide. And so what does your warm-up look like? How does it all tie into that theme? And it takes a lot of brain power. And so I'm happy to have gotten past that, but it took a lot of time. Chuck?
Yeah. I mean, so I had 10 sessions because we're 1.5 hours long.
Right.
And basically from a week to week standpoint, what are we trying to work on? What are the principles? How are they digesting certain information? Because I always leave one training session based on how the game went, things that we did well or didn't do well, and working on those things or reinforcing certain things. So it's a lot of work, but it's awesome. Because
it is awesome,
just to see it come to fruition every week and working with these kids. It's been a joy.
Yeah, it's a lot of details. And I think we could all agree that the magic's in the prep. So the more prep you put into it, the more you're thinking about how you want to do things, and then ultimately how you want to say those things, how they're being absorbed is really important. All right, let's get into the show because we could go a whole episode just on this alone, and maybe that's what the people want. Hit us up on Golazo America on all the social media accounts. Okay, we're going to get into notable performances from Americans abroad, and we're going to start with Ricardo Pepi, who has made his return to PSV Eindhoven. Perfect time because Champions League kicks off again, and they're taking on Napoli this week, so hopefully he'll get a run out in that game. But he subbed on in a 2-1 win for PSV over Go Ahead Eagles, one of my favorite named teams in the world. And Serginho Dest, I thought, was excellent, getting up and down the right side for PSV. He got 3 chances created, 7 recoveries. He probably should have had an assist on the first goal that PSV scored. I just thought he was really dangerous. The timing of his runs, his confidence moving forward. I was really impressed with Serginho. And man, if it's between him and Weah for that wingback spot, there's just something about what Serginho does when he gets going. Weah obviously very important, can get forward too. But okay, keeping it moving. Richie Ledesma recorded an assist in a 2-0 win versus Mazatlan. Congrats to him.
I'll tell you right now, I don't know why we have Richie Ledesma on here, because when he was playing with PSV, he wasn't even in consideration. So why would he be now?
Just giving some love.
Yeah,
Chivas Guadalajara. You know what? Part of why he's getting some love, Chuck, is because a lot of our players didn't play abroad because they're coming out of an international break. And then Tyler Adams played a full 90 minutes in a 3-3 draw versus Crystal Palace, and Chris Richards also got 90 minutes in that game. Really exciting game. Lots of crazy good goals. I highly suggest going to watch the highlights if you can find those on the YouTubes. And then Flo Balogun subbed on and scored in a 1-1 draw for his new coach against Angers. And I thought it was a really well-taken goal. Let's talk about Flo Balogun really quick. Charlie Davies. So him and Minamino came on as a sub as well. But just the way that he created the space, Minamino obviously plays a great pass, but the way he cuts off the defender, he gets in behind. I'll give everybody a kind of a play-by-play. And then the way he makes his run to get across to the defender, and then he could slow it down and then just hit with power into the goal. I thought it was a really well-taken goal, and I think Flo looks as sharp as I've ever seen him.
Yeah, I agree with that. And again, it's really important to make that first impression with your new manager, and showing that you got quality in front of goal and coming up with a crucial point in his first match on the sidelines. So I think from that standpoint, we've seen him grow. And I love whether he comes off the bench or he starts, he's making an impact. We've seen his quality. He is our best striker as long as he's fit and he's playing. He's our best striker. Now, when he's confident and he's really got it going, to what you're talking about, Jimmy, you really see what makes him stand out. And it's his movement, it's his quick change of pace, and his finishing.
Yeah, and the way he sets his body up, Jim, you touched on it, right? It's like the way he kind of peels his run, right, where the defender really can't do anything at that point. And then he's getting a look at goal, and it's finding the back of the net for him over the last couple of weeks. So that's really important. The more our forwards score goals, the better off we're going to be. But I don't know about you, this last window for me, he took another step with regards to the national team. Like, he just looked a more confident player. He looked a more determined player. Obviously, being fully fit helps the cause, right? And that's important. But we can only hope that this kind of just continues to go in that direction, right? And we see him continue to get better and better each week.
Yeah, obviously scoring a big goal for a new manager that is Sebastian Pocanoli. It's going to earn that trust and that respect that he's going to want to obviously prove that he should be starting week in and week out for Monaco. Monaco is playing against Tottenham in the Europa League this week, so we'll see if he gets the nod in that one. Okay, let's get into some injury news, and we're going to go to our resident AC Milan fan, Tony Meola, on this. Christian Pulisic ruled out for definitely 2 weeks following his injury for the U.S.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It could be a lot worse, of course, but disappointing that we find ourselves in this situation. How's Max Allegri, the manager of Milan, managing this situation? And I'm sure all the fans are disappointed, of course.
He has been pretty, in listening to him, I listen to every one of his press conferences. He's not been, remember, he's dealing with a lot of injuries, not just Christian. He's got Estupiñán and Rabiot, and there's other guys in this. So he's been kind of like almost, hey, we got a deep roster. We can, guys can fill in. But from our standpoint, he's still Christian Pulisic, right? And he's still a guy that we're going to depend on and we want to see play every week. 2 weeks is not is not terrible. With these muscle injuries, though, you never know, right? You just never know how you react when you come back. But yeah, I mean, it's clear that Christian part of Christian's conversation over the last 2 seasons about playing so many games has been the consistency, right? Where he said at Chelsea, there was moments where he didn't see the field a lot, and he couldn't find a rhythm, and that caused some of the injuries, or was part of the reason he had some of these. And the reason he stayed fit over the last couple seasons has been the fact that he's been able to play consistently and keep his body in shape. So look, a little breakdown between him and it looks like Tillman, right? It's got what does he have, a quad as well?
Yeah,
and
Tillman's
so, the international window maybe beat a couple guys up with the travel. There's no doubt.
Okay, so Chuck, let's have this part of the conversation then. Milan take on Pisa at home. He's not going to play in that one, obviously. Away to Atalanta. That's a midweek game. Probably not going to play in that one. And then home to Roma. I feel like that's too much of a risk. You go from Roma and then you go to Parma. So you have a week in between those. But then you have the international break. If I'm Allegri, if I'm the PTs, the medical team, you're thinking, why would we try to risk him through that break? Why don't we just give him that next 4 weeks? That way he can come out of that international break flying. That means he's probably ruled out for playing for the U.S. against Paraguay and Uruguay.
No, I don't think he's.
You don't think so?
No,
I'm just saying he would be, though. Like, if you're starting to look at it more big picture, why risk him or Tillman as well? Tillman's out for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking at it, okay, why don't we just shut him down and then we can ramp him back up so that he's as sharp as possible coming out of the international break? I'm just saying that those are conversations I'm sure they're having.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, that's what Allegri is saying right now. Don't even think about calling him up. He is on ice until he gets a run of games in and he builds his fitness back up and builds that hamstring strength back up. So is there a need to rush him? Absolutely not. And I think for Christian's sake, the 2-week minor strain for a hamstring, that's like best case scenario. That's the weakest of tweaks. You're almost not even there yet. It might be just a tight hamstring, but when you get to where he is, like a real minor tweak, it's one of those things where you just got to let it heal, give it rest, and then you can come back. But you don't want to go 0 to 100 in any of these type of situations, because a lingering hamstring injury, when you re-injure it, now we're talking from 2 weeks, we're talking to 6 weeks. And then if you re-injure it during that process, it goes to 6 to 8 to 10, right? So for me, you let him rest and get back up to speed with Milan before you even entertain bringing him into the national team. But again, I love the fact that Christian has figured out a way to be so impactful this year under Allegri, even though Allegri's tactics are typically not so compelling for an attacking player, but Christian has shown that he's central to Allegri's plans for success.
But they fit his style, right? Because there's a lot of games where he just wants to counterattack, right? And if they can find someone in that 9, if Jimenez can be that guy, like Pulisic and Leao, like this kind of opens up the game for them. When is Christian most fun to watch? When he's running at people, right? And when he's got space to play in and he feels comfortable and he makes good decisions and all of that. So, he strived. The one part of Allegri's game that probably people said, this doesn't suit Christian Pulisic, is the sort of the work rate against the ball. And then he's now done everything. And I think because you got a guy like Luka Modric, who's 41 years old, you talk about an example for a guy like Christian Pulisic, right? Who told us on our show, didn't he tell us that was his hero growing up? Like that was his guy. So now you're playing with him and you're seeing him at 41 years old, just bust his ass all over the field. Like that's got to rub off on everyone. So it's great to have that opportunity for him. With regards to the window, I've kind of conceded that if Christian Pulisic is here in that window, he's going to be on some kind of minutes restriction. Like I don't see us having a window this next time around. And maybe it's just me kind of setting myself up for the worst. I don't see a window where we're going to have him for 2 times 90 minutes in games.
Yeah, not in the next window. It's one of those things too where the club just like, hey, we did this before. Do we want to? It becomes, especially because he's going to be a lock, obviously, to make the team. Is it worth the risk? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we don't know the severity of it.
After the Milan derby is when he goes
right
back
after
the window.
Exactly right. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a huge game coming out of it. All right, let's talk a little bit about Malik Tillman, who Bayer Leverkusen, they won this past weekend. A crazy game too, if you want to watch some highlights. 4-3 over Mainz, and they're in a good run of form. Won 3 of 6, but 3 wins, 3 draws. They have PSG at home. It would have been an awesome opportunity to see Malik Tillman playing against PSG, but he's going to be ruled out for that one. And then coming out of the international break, actually even before that, they take on Bayern Munich before the international break hits. So I don't know. They have Freiburg, Paderborn. They go to Allianz to take on Bayern Munich, and then they've got Benfica, and then Heidenheim, and then the international break hits. Again, we don't know the severity of these.
What about Bayern Munich, by the way, and Harry Kane against Dortmund? I mean, just when you think you saw all that Harry Kane is, it almost like he's looking like how Wayne Rooney started playing towards the end of his career, when he would drop back into midfield and being able to distribute, making tackles. Harry Kane is the absolute complete player. What top class. I mean,
incredible. Would you say he's Bayern Munich's Christian Roldan? Like he can just do a little bit of everything? That's why I'm just using Mauricio Pochettino's. Okay, fine. All right. Everybody's eyes are rolling. Okay, here we go. Let's get into the Americans Abroad Champions League preview. Here's what we got. I know I mentioned a few of the games, but the big one for me is PSV versus Napoli. I think that's going to be a fantastic matchup. It's in Eindhoven. Napoli, Antonio Conte. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm curious to see how that game goes. Atalanta, Slavia Prague. We'll see if Yunus Musa makes an appearance in that one. It would be fun to see. Monaco, Tottenham will be happening as well. Flo Balogun and
it'd be interesting if he gets to start against at home, coming off of that, point, goal to save a point for Monaco. If he can start in that game and show well, man, the sky's the limit for him moving forward under this new coach.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that was a Europa League game. It's a Champions League game, and I apologize for that. Real Madrid, Juventus. So will Weston McKennie get a start at the Bernabeu? That would be sick. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. And then Sporting Club de Portugal is hosting Marseille. Hopefully Tim Weah gets the nod in that. Big Tones, which game are you looking forward to the most out of those 5 that we saw on screen?
As soon as you said it, Real Madrid, Juventus, I feel like this is a day that Weston McKennie scores a goal. Like, this is the kind of game that Weston McKennie struts into the building and gets a goal. Because we've kind of seen this moment from him, right? I mean, how about him going to the Bernabeu and getting a goal? Who would, do you bet against it? That's one. I'm really intrigued. And I know we talk about this a couple times. Yunus Musa's move to Atalanta. I know we've mentioned it 3 or 4 shows in a row, but I just don't know how this is going to work out in the end for Yunus Musa with regards to playing time. I watch this Atalanta team week in and week out, obviously covering that league, and I don't know. I hope I'm praying that it works out for him, but I'm looking at that midfield and I keep going, where does he fit in, man? I don't know about you guys, and I know, dude, Chuck, I think you mentioned it last show too. So I'm going to watch it because of that, Jimmy, because I want to see how Yunus Musa, kind of dovetails into this lineup somehow.
Yeah, this is a question that was posed on Morning Footy, and Chuck will come to you with it. Which match of these do you think Mauricio Pochettino will be watching? Which one do you think he's setting down, getting the popcorn, grabbing a beer, and is like, I'm going to sit down and watch my guy do this against who? Who's that?
Well, I think it's between 2. And I think it's Weston at Juve. If he starts against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, that's a game that you can't ignore. And because we've talked about Weston and his position with the U.S. men's national team, is he one of those 210s? Is he one of the 2 box midfielders that are closer to the back line? There's a lot of conversation around what's best for not only for Weston, but best for the national team. And I think if he's starting in that game, Mauricio Pochettino has to be glued to the screen. And then Monaco, Tottenham, again, we're talking about the 9s. Haji Wright has done really well in this last window. Ricardo Pepi's starting to build himself up, but it feels like Balogun is his guy in that position. So Champions League against his former team, come on, that he's got to be watching that one.
I actually surprised you didn't go with PSV Napoli, just because you get to see Serginho Dest, and potentially Ricardo Pepi. I don't know if he'll start, but I assume he's going to get some.
You think he's not going to watch his former club?
No, he probably will watch his former club.
And against Monaco, like Balogun's is not, is 9 with the national team, former club. For me, that's probably going to sit
maybe
highest. But Weston, I think, playing against Real Madrid and the perennial Champions League winners, that's also extremely appealing.
I mean, there's just something about seeing Dest get up and down. Can he do it against a team that's very stout defensively with Napoli, very well organized? And I know that it's looking like Napoli might not have McTominay or Rasmus Højlund, but they still got De Bruyne and Anguissa. I love a big Anguissa fan. Gilmore, that's a nice midfield there. And then got Spinazzola on the left side, so Dest is going to have to do a little bit of defending as well. So I don't know. I guess
if Tillman was playing, Jim, I would have picked the other one, the Leverkusen against his other former team. But I'm going with Charlie in Monaco and his former team, Tottenham. Because that would have been great to see Tillman against that midfield, although there's some injuries. Ruiz, I think, is out in that one. João Neves might be out, but you got Vitinha, Maulu. What's the other young kid? Zaire Emery. So he would have been up against a really good midfield.
That team is stacked, PSG. And it's incredible what Luis Enrique has done and put together. And that's why they were the reigning Champions League winners. We'll see how they do this season, though. It's not always easy to replicate that type of success. All right, we're going to take our first break and call what you want. When we come back, we're going to get into some MLS playoff preview, MLS awards, a lot of MLS stuff, and it should be a lot of fun, so don't go anywhere.
The clock never stops. Relive the greatest moments with uninterrupted highlights and more.
It's Gareth Bale! Ronaldo! Wonderful goal!
On the UEFA Champions League channel. Streaming free.
All right, welcome back in to Call It What You Want. I'm Conrad Dino alongside Big Tones and Check Chasing Charlie. And we want to talk a little MLS Decision Day. There were 15 matches being played. Eastern Conference went a couple hours earlier before the Western Conference. 52 goals were scored in those 15 games. That was an average of 3.47 goals per game. You'd think maybe some of these games would be tight. There's a lot to play for. There was nothing tight, just goals on goals on goals. I was more focused on the Western Conference. I was at the San Jose Earthquakes. They needed to beat Austin FC and get a little help to get into the playoffs. They did not get that help. There was 4 teams vying for 2 spots: the Rapids, FC Dallas, Real Salt Lake, and San Jose. And for me, the one that's the most heartbreaking, the Colorado Rapids had it. They had LAFC up 2-1, and they gave up a goal in the 89th minute, and they drew 2-2, and that means they didn't leapfrog over Real Salt Lake into one of those 2 spots. That 89th minute, you had it. You could have turned or had something good about your season, and it all fell apart. RSL needed to at least avoid defeat in St. Louis and barely did it 2-2. And Dallas got some help with a red card, early red card, to barely hold on against a 10-man team. Vancouver was all over them with 10 players, and they still got what they needed to do, FC Dallas. And they've been actually pretty good over the last third of the season, I'd say. Only 1 loss in their last 10. So I don't know if I'd want to face them in the first game. They jumped to the 7th seed, so they actually avoid the play-in game. But, yeah, I mean, crazy storylines throughout Decision Day. I know both of you guys were in the thick of it. Chuck, your thoughts on the last day of the season for MLS?
Yeah, I mean, I called the game with the New England Revolution versus Chicago Fire, so I got to see Berhalter and spoke for him for quite a while after the match. But
he's going to come on the show or what?
Yeah, he'll come. Of course, he'll come on the show.
Come on the show.
Of course, Greg will come on the show. But Chicago did not look good, especially in the first half. They were dreadful, and we know how the Revolution season went. But they figured out a way to get back into the game, and you would have thought, okay, this is a team that's going to look ready for the playoffs. They just didn't. They didn't impress me at all. Zinkernagel is a fantastic player. Incredible player. But outside of Zinkernagel, I wasn't too impressed with the Fire. Outside of that game, I think when we look at what Lionel Messi was doing, I could not believe. We talked about 4 goal contributions, which I thought was the record. And so he had the hat trick and the last assist, by the way, he could have had 4 or 5 assists. Some of the passes he was making, he came up 1 goal contribution short to Carlos Vela, but I'm pretty sure we said all he needed was 4. But Inter Miami looked damn good. even with their defensive liabilities. I think in the end, we're going to see Cincinnati and Inter Miami, I think, battle for that Eastern Conference. I'm still not convinced with Philly in the playoff, even though they're the Supporters Shield champions. Outside of that, what do you think, Tones? How are you feeling about the Eastern Conference?
I went Cincy and Miami, and Cincy getting to the final against LAFC. And I would have picked San Diego 7 or 8 games ago until Son got to LAFC. I just think he kind of puts them over the top. It would have been San Diego, Vancouver. I don't want to leave them out of the conversation. If you got to play in Vancouver, it's going to be really, really difficult. You got to play. I just think LA though, there's something about them right now. And with Inter Miami, I think what we've seen over the last couple of 2 weeks or so, you got the announcement of Busquets, you got the announcement of Jordi Alba, and it's almost reinvigorated all of them, right? Like, okay, man, and Messi included. One, I don't know that he's totally interested in individual records, but he looked like he was going for it.
He did, didn't he? He looked. He was after it.
And then it looked like it looks like he's also committed, right? He came back from international duty to play a game and move away from the Argentinian national team, although in the same state and all that stuff. But it's still a decision you have to make. And I feel like he's kind of put on his shoulders, I want to send these two guys out on the right foot, right, on the right note at the end of their career. And that's what you're feeling. I'm just not convinced by their defense. It's hard for me to go with a team that can't defend or is poor in defending and think that you're going to win a championship. Can you? I suppose you can win games, every game 4-2, 4-3, 3-2, like high-scoring games. But that takes a lot in the playoffs, man. And we saw last year it just didn't work for them. So that's kind of why I went with FC Cincinnati, although I feel like I've gone with FC Cincinnati for like 3 years, and it kind of broke my heart along the way. And a lot of it is like rooting for Dom Kinnear and obviously Pat Noonan and that staff. There's a little bit of that for sure, but I like the way they're built. And Denke's getting back. Brenner looks like he's finding his feet now. Vanders had a great year. Like, there's a lot of positives there.
All right, let's go back to, can you throw up that Eastern Conference graphic, please, Producer Des, so we can get into laying it out for everybody that's just listening. So Philadelphia is going to take on the winner of the play-in game between Chicago or Orlando. Orlando fallen off a cliff, by the way, only 1 win in their last 7 and just can't seem to find any type of form. They gave up 4 goals to a bad Toronto team this past weekend in a must-win game to lose 4-2, and so they drop into the play-in game. We'll see if they can get past Chicago in Chicago. Then the winner of that, Philly versus Chicago or Orlando, will be Charlotte versus New York City FC. So that'll be a pretty good matchup. Zaha got a red card. He's going to miss the first leg of this 3-game series. I should mention, everybody, it's a 3-game series in the round of 1 after the play-in game. Inter Miami, Nashville. So as we mentioned, Inter Miami probably the favorites. They just beat Nashville this past weekend 5-2 in Nashville, and Messi was unbelievable. That guy is so. It's like you think he can't. Can he win you over again? Can he like prove to you that he? I get my jaw to drop. Ultimately, is what I'm trying to say. And then you watch him, and you're like, God damn it, this guy.
What
unreal.
It's unreal. When we're looking at his goals, right? And we talked about the away form of Inter Miami to win at Nashville. I thought after that first half, I go, well, this is Inter Miami playing away from home. It's going to be difficult, And that second half, Messi said, let me put this team on my back. But that assist on the final goal.
Yeah.
How many players make that pass?
With the weight of it off the ground,
God.
Just a little bit. Yeah, it's unreal. Watch those highlights if you haven't seen them yet. The last game is the Hell is Real derby between FC Cincinnati and Columbus Crew. I've got plenty of time for that, and I'm excited. Of all the matchups, that's probably the one I'm most excited about to see over 3 games. I feel like that's a proper derby. All right, so up the Western Conference really quick for me, Producer Des, so I'll whip through this one this time. San Diego FC got the number 1 seed, by the way, and they're going to take on the winner of. Congratulations to Mikey Varas and the staff and the players. They were excellent
Tyler
this season.
Heaps. Yep, awesome,
unbelievable. And they're going to take on the winner of the play-in game between Portland and Real Salt Lake. Portland looked terrible. And when you lose 4-0 in your last home game against San Diego, it's just not good. And Minnesota United versus Seattle. This is going to be a tasty one there. And then we have LAFC versus Austin FC. Though I agree with you that Son Heung-min makes LAFC just so much more dynamic, Austin actually beat LAFC twice this season in their 2 games. So they got a little
the second one didn't feature Bouanga and Son.
Yeah,
and the first one didn't feature Son. So there's a difference when you have both of them.
I'm trying to give Austin a little something to hang on to because I don't think they have much of a chance.
Stop it.
Jimmy, don't worry about the details, Jimmy.
Okay, fine. Details are out. We just say that for our coaching course. And then Vancouver versus FC Dallas is the last one. FC Dallas went there and got the results on decision day. I think it's funny when the team you just played, you get to play them again over 3 games. But I think Vancouver's got a little bit too much for FC Dallas. I will say, though, once FC Dallas got and sold Lucho Acosta to Brazil, they've just been a different team under Eric Will. So I don't know what has changed. And they did it actually this past weekend without 2 of their better attacking players in Logan Farrington and Peter Musa. So
you don't know what changed? What changed was a guy that was on the field that was miserable to play. Didn't run. Yeah. If you didn't pass him the ball in the first minute of the game, he threw his arms up. I did like 6 FC Dallas games. I picked it out every game. I mentioned it in the broadcast. The guy was miserable there. I mean, that's what changed. You got, you want to press, you want to do things you can't. Eric Quill couldn't do it. So credit to them for saying, you know what? I know he's a good player. Right. There's no doubt. There's nobody that's going to question the technical ability, but this is how I'm trying to build my team. And I can't have somebody kind of, I'm pulling this way and the other guy's pulling the other way, and that's what happened with that group. And they look more invigorated because they don't have to cater to one player. If you're Lionel Messi, look how Lionel Messi reacts to players. He'll get on you every now and then. He reacts more to the other team. Like if you start kicking him, he'll get in your face and he'll say things, and we've seen it throughout the 2 years. But do you ever see him demonstrative towards his own team? No. I rarely see it, man.
That would crush everybody.
Would crush you. Yeah.
If Messi was doing this and saying get him, sub him off, you're done. You're done for.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, and I credit FC Dallas because that can't be an easy move, man, to make. You got, guy, you just plan on building the franchise. And remember, this happened at DC, this happened in Cincinnati, right? He ended up miserable at the 2 other places he was at. So to think that he wasn't going to end miserable here was maybe foolish on our parts a little bit, but I give them credit, man, because it probably wasn't easy, and I give Eric Quill credit for putting them where they're at right now.
Yeah, I got him in a good spot. Shout out to Quilly. We played with him in Kansas City. All right, let's get into our year-end awards. We're going to start with MLS Coach of the Year. We can whip through these. For me, Coach of the Year, I guess the candidates would have to be Jesper Sorensen from Vancouver, Mikey Varas at San Diego FC, and then Bradley Carnell at Philadelphia Union. I'm sure there's other worthy candidates, but those are the ones that really stand out.
So who would you go with of those?
There's something about Sorensen that I really like, but it's hard to deny what Bradley Carnell has done at Philly. I think Philly finished 10th the previous year, 9th or 10th, and under Jim Curtin for a long time, and for him to come in and have that type of impact. They not only won the Supporters' Shield, they were the best defense in the league too, right? I really value that as a metric in terms of being consistent on both sides of the ball. So, and then Mikey Varas obviously setting records for I said I was going to be quick on these, but I want to give some context. Mikey
keep
Varas
taking all the oxygen.
Okay, okay, Mr. Oxygen Sucker.
I knew it was coming, Jimmy. I knew it was coming.
Okay,
have you made your pick yet?
I don't know. Actually, I gotta have to think about it. What are you gonna say, Chuck?
You went through all that. You didn't convince yourself of anything.
I'm on the fence. I've convinced myself to be on the fence.
Not only did he take 10 minutes and he took all the oxygen, he then goes.
He gave us nothing. He gave us nothing.
I gave you context. I gave you context.
Toads, you go.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, Jim?
Chuck, you criticize me. You criticize me of the same crap that you do all the time.
Jim, you sit on the fence.
Talk. And then if you don't want to answer, you're like, what do you think? What do you think?
The only thing left is for you to give us someone that's not in this 3 right here that you didn't come up with.
I'm surprised you didn't say Mascherano. All the goals Inter Miami scored. He should be in
Yeah. Fine. I'll go Bradley Carnell, best defense in the league. I value that. I'll take that.
Holy cow. Yeah. That's a short way to go about it.
Short way. Okay, fine. We're moving to the next one. You know what? I don't even want your answers on the coach of the year from you two.
We don't have oxygen to give it anyway.
You guys are okay, Mr. You have an oxygen tank over there because you talk so much. Okay, Toads, MLS goalkeeper of the year. Who you?
What do you need from me? Dane St. Clair. How quick is that?
Great. Oh, great.
Do you need I was going to give an explanation, but we used it up in the coaches segment.
MLS defender of the year. Go ahead, Chuck. You can take my area of expertise.
No, that's you. You're a defender. Give us your defender of the year.
Well, best defense. I mean, Glesnes probably the guy at Philly. So if I'm going to continue on that metric, then I'll just go with the top center back, I think, for the Philadelphia Union and go with Jacob Glesnes. Okay, let's go to young player of the year. What are you saying?
Young player of the year.
Chuck, no, I want to hear from Chuck because he's trying to be mute now because he doesn't suck up all the oxygen.
Who's the young players?
I'm barely hanging on.
Yeah. For me, what do you got? Who's your options? You got Freeman, Diego Luna. You have Bo LaRue, who I thought is very good at San Jose, even though the season didn't go well. I like his future. There's got to be Obed Vargas is another good one.
It's gonna be Diego Luna because he was the team. I mean, he was responsible for so much. When you look at the team setup and the DPs and how much they relied on Diego Luna more so than any other young player in the league.
Okay.
I'm gonna give a shout out. I'm leaning towards Freeman, but I want to give a shout out to Wolf down in Austin. I thought he's had a really good season as well.
7 goals, 7 assists. Yeah,
he was fantastic.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to go Diego Luna.
Okay, Freeman. I thought 6 goals and 3 assists.
Another good one. Yep.
Pretty impressive. Obviously, got now a regular with the U.S. men's national team, or feels that way. MLS comeback player of the year. There's a good story about was it Nicholas Hagelin? Nick Hagelin from FC Cincinnati coming back from a fractured leg and torn ligaments and tendons. Starts the season.
Playing now. That's a good shout. Yeah.
I like that one. That's a good story there. All right, let's do a newcomer of the year.
For me, it's Dreyer, San Diego.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Yep, Dreyer's the guy for me.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go with that. And then MLS MVP. What are we saying? He got 29 goals and 19 assists for some guy named Leo Messi in 28 appearances.
That might be the easiest one.
I might vote for him.
Yeah, that might be the easiest one of all time, given how impressive he was this year.
All right. Well, then I think this is going to take a little bit of oxygen. So I guess I'll throw it over to Chuck first. Who's your MLS best 11?
Can we get it up on the screen?
I guess we can.
Charlie
Davis is best 11.
So you say best defense in the league. I'm gonna go with the most clean sheets in the league, and that's Taka Oka. And I thought he was so solid this year. Now Brad Stuver probably was relied on a lot more because of the issues that the team had up and down the spine. But for me, Taka Oka is going to get your goalkeeper best 11. Now, Glesnes, what we talked about, best defense in Philly, and Miles Robinson, I thought was solid this year. Eddie Nahar, best right back in Major League Soccer for me, and Jordi Alba, what he was able to do as a left back in this league is pretty incredible. The three midfielders, Sverkov, Dreyer, and Evander. I mean, I also think Sverkov was a phenomenal signing as well. Good distribution, always gets on the ball for San Diego. They're trying to build out with him. I thought he's one of the underrated players in that league, in the league. And the front three, for me, that should be unanimous. Messi, Surridge, and Bouanga. If we're talking about a front three, there's not a single player. And by the way, Messi and Bouanga should be swapped, but that's a little thing.
I mean, we're nitpicking here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. That's good. How about you, Tones?
Yeah, so I did my lineup a little bit different. But Dane St. Clair, I told you in goal, the Minnesota United, defensive structure, how many games did he save them? I went with him. Glesnes, I think, is an easy one. Macania down in Charlotte, during that run that Charlotte had, he was outstanding. And Tristan Blackman up in Vancouver did enough to get himself a call to the national. Tverskov in the middle of the field, like Charlie. I put Christian Roldan in here. I thought his season was great. And here's where I kind of mixed things up a little bit because I was going to go with true wingbacks. Zinkernagel on the right, Dreyer in front of him. On the left side, Evander, who plays in that inside left channel sometimes. Bawanga on the left, and I use Messi as a front guy.
False 9.
Yeah,
no Surge.
Surge was the guy I couldn't squeeze in with. Freeman I couldn't squeeze in. I actually thought of how I would squeeze in Sebastian Berhalter because I think he's been great this season.
But Kubas and Berhalter, they took away from each other. You know,
a little bit.
They're both they were both so impactful. And I'm with you, Zinkernagel, and I also thought Martin Ojeda, who was phenomenal this year.
He was another guy he was another guy I thought about as well.
Those were
lots of good options.
Those were tough to leave off. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into mine so everybody can make fun of it. We're going to win a lot of games 4-3, everybody. I got St. Clair in goal for all the reasons that Tony mentioned. I thought he was excellent, made a lot of big, key, and timely saves. We'll see if that continues in the playoffs. I put Alex Freeman in my team. I thought he's my young player of the year. I'm going to find a way in there. 21-year-old, 6 goals, 3 assists. I thought he was really impressive. Tristan Blackman will be in the middle. And then I got Kai Wagner, I should say. 2 goals, 9 assists for Philly, getting up and down. I know he's more of like a wing back, but I just like, he's going to play my back line.
So why did Kai get in over, let's say, an Alba?
I just thought, I guess Philly finished on 66 points and Miami finished on 65.
How does your center back of the year or your defender of the year not getting your first 11?
Yeah, no. You know what happens sometimes?
Just saying.
Don't do it to him.
Makanya and Glesnes, I thought, kind of canceled each other out, and I wanted to give some love to Blackman. But yeah, ultimately, I should have Glesnes in there. You're right. But my Philly pick was Wagner. Tverskov and Berhalter are going to be holding it down in the 6 spots. I found a spot for Berhalter in the spine of the team. I thought Vancouver was good, not only in the league, but also in other competitions. Evander, Dreyer, Messi, Bawanga, and Surge for all. My team's all over. It's a hot mess, my team. But you know what? It would be a lot of fun. I was going to cuss, but I'm not.
Who is your goalkeeper of the year? Just curious now.
Dane St. Clair.
Okay. Just wanted to know.
But yeah, Gless is probably
he didn't make the team though. Okay, I just making sure he made the team.
St. Clair made my goalkeeper of the year. Okay, you guys give me a hard time. I know. So I kind of got, as I started to think through my rationale about defender of the year. I should have just stuck with Gless. I probably should have said Blackman because that would have helped in my best level. Hey.
I can't believe you did. Oh, you of all guys here didn't have 3 center backs in your center back positions.
I had one.
You had one of the 3.
I had one.
Woo.
It was absolutely amazing. We're all over the shop. I will say though, what a season for attacking players in the league. I mean, so many good numbers. You leave out a lot of good players. Ojeda, as you mentioned,
you leave out defender of the year. So
and who else? Wait, there was
Martin Ojeda, Philip Zinkernagel.
Mukhtar probably squeezed out. He's got numbers too to back that up. Is there anybody we're missing that probably feels hard done by outside of Glesnes on my team?
Yeah, Glesnes.
Yeah, all right. I knew that was coming. I mean, you left out Surge. I don't know how you did that. I think that might be it.
Because I put Messi and Bawanga in there. That's how I did it.
Yeah, no, I guess. I mean, Sun Heung-min
would the three guys that are up for MVP of the league. I put those guys in there first.
Yeah.
You know when certain guys, it's just not their day. They had a shocker. Tones, why are you laughing? Why is Tones laughing? I just asked a question.
Who are you talking about? Are you referencing me?
No. I'm just saying. When you're around a person, you go, "Today's not your day."
Here we go. Man, I can't believe you're talking about Tones like that.
You look over at halftime, he had a bad first day. You all right, dude? You all right, man?
I don't even know. You want to change your boots? Yeah. Hey, Tones, you got the right boots on? Hey, you okay? Are you sick?
Oh, damn.
No, we're in Azteca.
Fine.
Maybe it's the altitude. You need some oxygen.
Okay, I'm gonna have a sub. I'll take Wagner out and I'll bring in Glesnes, and everybody will be happy. Okay, we got Glesnes, Blackman.
Yeah, all right. Put Glesnes out wide left. Get him out.
No, Blackman can play out wide left, and we put Glesnes in the middle. It doesn't matter. All right. We're going to take our last break of Call It What You Want. Apparently, I have to redeem myself. Lots of red dots.
Red dots.
All right. Hopefully, green dots coming in our last
we're going to get them next.
But very special guest joining us. Josh Brunais will be joining us right after this break, so don't go anywhere.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it? The crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
All right, welcome back in to Call It What You Want. I'm Jimmy Conrad, also known as Red Dot, apparently, the show, and I'm having a shocker, apparently. Thanks, Chuck. Big laughs over there. I'm here with Tones and Chuck, of course. Chuck chasing Chuck. And before we get to our special guest, we want to put a capper on the U20 World Cup. Morocco shocked the world and beat Argentina in the final. That's who the U.S. lost to in the quarterfinals. Congratulations to Morocco. A very big deal for them and for the continent of Africa. And Morocco in particular, I mean, what they did at the 2022 World Cup, the players that they're developing to be able to win this is really special for them. And I'm excited to see how they kick on with this type of talent being developed in Morocco. And honestly, I feel like we should be taking notes. What are they doing? What kind of tinkering have they been doing at their youth system to start providing, obviously, for the senior national team and then also at the youth level?
The thing is, they've always been producing talent. The problem is most Moroccans would then go play for France or go play for other countries, and they wouldn't play for Morocco. But once the Morocco FA got their stuff together, now we're talking about keeping talent. Same with Senegal. All the Senegalese players, they'd go and play for France. But then Senegal said, okay, and I think that 2002 World Cup was the story that always comes to mind is a lot of the Senegalese players were playing against French Senegalese players, and Senegal wins. And that was the moment for Africa as a continent, but more importantly, for Senegal to say, hey, we can beat the country that you guys are all going to flee to play for. And I think Morocco is doing the same thing. So hats off to Morocco and what they've been able to do.
Yeah. With your experience at the U20 World Cup, how impressed were you with Morocco? They only had 25% possession in the final, but they made the plays that mattered, and they were so stout defensively, B-Tones.
Yeah, and again, I go back to I missed that chat after the U.S. got beaten by them. It's a loss that I think will sting for a little while at that level, because I thought the U.S. was better than Morocco on the day. They had opportunities, and they didn't take advantage of them. But we've seen that at this level, and yeah, take nothing away from them. Resilient, found ways to win. Got big plays. The little number 7, the blonde hair kid who ends up getting the goal. I forget his name off the top of my head. And I think we should give a shout out to Ben Kremasky, right? He was the Golden Boot in the tournament. I think that's twice we've done it. Didn't Eddie Johnson do it one time, like a long time ago, if I'm not mistaken, at this level? So that's a pretty big achievement. And then we saw a young man sort of grow up in front of our eyes during that tournament. Hopefully he can now take that and advance his career a little bit more in Italy. So yeah, what a great tournament. Now we got the U17s coming up here in a couple of weeks, so that's going to be fun as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that team does under Gonzalo Segares. All right, we have a very special guest. We're so excited that he's joining us. It's the captain of the U.S. Men's Cerebral Palsy National Team. Josh Brunais is going to be joining us from Stafford, Virginia. 47 caps for the team, 7 goals, 8 assists, and he just led the squad to their first major trophy in team history, the 2025 Copa America title. Josh, great to see you. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, so listen, you have a hell of a story. Served in our military with honor. You saved 12 lives from a burning helicopter. I mean, I imagine that's just one of many things that you've done to heroically save lives and to defend our country, and we thank you for that. You're also coming off of an ACL tear in the World Cup back in 2023. You come back into the team, and now you guys are out there winning trophies.
We are.
I mean, what can't you do, Josh? I mean, that's ultimately what we're asking here, because it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It was definitely a grind this past year. Actually in Ireland, just getting a friendly, and we're in a unique position where, the team gets together a couple times a year for major tournaments. So when we get games, friendlies, or big tournaments, it means everything to us. So having torn my ACL last year and missing the season was pretty rough, but super grateful for the support of the team and staff. And I made it to the World Cup, and I was able to help lead this awesome squad to this gold. It was huge for us.
Josh, yeah, congratulations. First off, thanks for your service. I mean, Jimmy touched on your resume. We were reading it last night in our group chat. We're like, holy cow, man, this guy's resume puts us to shame here. Like, we wouldn't want to go up against you. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you.
Talk about it from the ACL to winning this thing, right? And sort of that journey and kind of how you were motivated to get back, because you didn't know you were going to get back for this.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it was my second ACL. I actually had one in 2017, and I'm 38 years old, so soccer is not a forever sport, but I'm definitely going to play as long as I can until my body doesn't work or my coach tells me to set aside. Emotionally, it was tough. I'll be honest with you. I had a scope 6 months in, and just felt like I was having these constant setbacks, but had a lot of support from my team, really leaned on my faith, had a lot of good family there for me. And just kept pushing and somehow was able to win gold just over a year with the guys. So it was great.
Josh, it's great to see you. I remember having you on the U.S. Soccer podcast that me and Jordan Angeli used to host back in the pandemic days, 2020. Right. But I know your history, your family history. Everyone has kind of served before you, your father and his father, right? So in terms of what the sport has done for you, I'd love to hear how this sport has pushed you forward. Has it given you hope? Has it given you purpose and fulfilled your life? How has this sport helped you since you've left the military?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, growing up, all I wanted to do was either play soccer or go in the Army. As I got older, I was fortunate enough to make a decision, followed the footsteps of my older brothers, joined 3rd Ranger Battalion. Anybody who's not familiar with that, it's special operations in the Army, and I mean, it makes you feel special. I don't ever want to be an average human being, and that was great. Having lost that, from multiple injuries, I lost myself for a bit, and I found Coach Sharp and this team, and it just gave me another purpose. And being part of this team it drives me every day. I'm getting to represent my country in a different capacity. I'm getting to do something that I grew up playing and loving. So I'm living both dreams. So it's bittersweet. Nobody wants to take these severe injuries, but it opened up new pathways, new doors for me. And I mean, I'm really on top of the world right now, especially after a couple of days ago. All that hard work, through injuries, through leaving the military, having to give up my first dream. I mean, it makes it all worth it.
So also we didn't add this in, and I probably should have mentioned it before. You beat Argentina in the final, 4-1. I mean, how does it feel to dunk on Argentina? You played them earlier. You played them earlier and tied them in the group stage 1-1. But you got the what happened what changed, I guess, going into that final, and what were you guys thinking and talking about going into that?
Man, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but F those guys. Dude. Like we have such a history with those guys. It is always a battle with them. And they pulled a dirty move in 2016. They stepped on our flag unbeknownst to us. It got out to us. So there's always an on-field rivalry, but ever since then, like, we've had a special grudge towards them.
Yeah, so it means something different now.
It's different. Yeah, it's so different. So, the first game was a grind. In the second game, we knew what we're up against. We were fortunate enough to put out the same lineup. Everybody stayed healthy, or for the most part healthy. And we knew it was coming. So, they played into our hands. We brought it to them, and you could see it on their faces. They were not ready to play us. They were poopy that they had to go up against us again. And we just dogged them. We were significantly more fit. You could see it on their faces. They did not want to be there. And I feel like from the moment we walked out onto the field, we had the upper hand.
It's amazing.
I love it.
It's incredible. Talk about, you mentioned Stuart Sharp, right? The coach has been part of our extended national teams for a little while now at U.S. Soccer. Just how he found you, right? Like where were you? I think you'd mentioned you may have found him, but how does that whole relationship start?
Sure. So I was actually technically still in the Army. I was kind of in my transition period, and the VA set up a soccer clinic here in Georgia, and that's where Coach Sharp was. He kind of scouted me, kind of not scouted me. He did a quick classification on me to see my, what disabilities, if maybe I could class in. Eventually I got the call up, had an awful first camp. He was pretty candid. He said he didn't think he was going to bring me back. I don't know how he brought me back, why he chose to do so, but very grateful for it, and trusted me along this way, and grateful to be, one of the captains and in the position I'm in now.
So talk to me about your training sessions. Like how are you improving? What are you working on? What's the immediate path forward for you? What are some of the goals that you have in front of you?
Right. Well, the World Cup's coming up, so I hope everybody, first I'd love for you guys to all follow the team. Everybody's listening. We have an incredible story. I mean, everybody is so unique. We have the World Cup coming up next year. I believe it's in the November timeframe. For me personally, I'm pretty fortunate to be part of the centralized training program. So I'm actually based out of Atlanta, Georgia now. We're training at the Atlanta United Training Center.
Oh, nice.
And then once the NTC is kind of fully built, we're going to hopefully transition over there. But I'm one of a handful of players who has the ability to train every day with the guys, great coaching staff. So that's our ramp up. We're out there 4 days a week. We're in the gym. We're hitting it hard. We're a part-time team in the sense that, we're not a club, so we're not getting weekend games. But we have 2 to 3 major tournaments a year, and everybody takes it serious every day. We live by this stuff. So it's not a healthy thing, but this is my personality. This is who I am right now. And I put all my eggs in this basket, and I'm just really excited to be part of it. And yeah, we're going to do really well in the next World Cup.
Yeah, you're speaking to 3 guys that have lived exactly what
Right,
you're doing,
right.
and a little jealous that you're still getting to live that, because we miss it so much. So give us a little bit of a preview for next World Cup next November.
Sure.
Where do we fit into the ecosystem?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, we're up there now. We're in contention. Historically, it's been the Ukraines, the Irans, England's been in there. The Dutch are getting strong, but we really proved ourselves this past 12 days there in the Copa America. So we are definitely in the running for a gold medal, and I don't say that lightly. The guys are looking strong. This is the best the squad's ever looked, culture-wise, technical-wise, the way we're gelling, the way we're playing, great leadership. We're up there. I really believe that we can get gold this tournament, and everybody else believes in it, and that's huge.
Let's go.
That's awesome, man. To talk about you probably do the same as us, right? You watch like FA Cup games in England, and you see all these lower division teams. Like they got some guy that's working like in a bakery during the day, and then he's playing soccer in an FA Cup against like a big team. Like, tell us about your teammates and like some maybe your story's like unique. Maybe some of the crazy jobs they have. Like, where do these guys all come from?
Some of these guys are in college. One guy's, I don't know if you ever heard of Toka, where you go into like the indoor session with the small balls. He's working there.
It's Eddie Lewis's thing, right? Yeah. The Toka,
yeah. We got guys all over. Got guys in real estate. They are balancing their full-time jobs or full-time student and this team. A couple guys are actually in Clemson. Really cool Paralympic program they have over there. So they're with the school, so they have a Clemson Paralympic team. So they're able to train a couple times a week. But you have a lot of unique positions. One guy's working selling eyeglasses. The other people are getting degrees. So we're all over the place. But in the end of the day, we make sure we get our session in for that day, and we prioritize this team.
So you've been around for a while. Who's the next up and coming rising star on this team? Who do you think, hey, the future is going to be good with this guy? And then who's the competition out there? Is there one player that you say, hey, this guy's really tough to play against, and this makes their country really tough to stop?
Sure. Everybody on our team. I'm not just trying to sound like a kiss ass. Everybody's coming up. I will have to give a shout out to Ben Lindau. When I took my injury, he stepped up as the captain. Young guy, really has his life together on and off the field. He's definitely going to be our superstar in the future. Great leader, and he's going to develop these guys. I hope he doesn't get too excited about this because I'm not going anywhere just yet.
Exactly.
I'm going to hang in there, but no, he's a phenomenal guy. I hope you guys get to know him. As far as other teams, I'm not worried about them. There's a lot of good players out there, but I'm worried about us. And I actually think we are the guys to beat. So I don't stress over those guys.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's the mentality and attitude we want. All right. Last question, Josh, and we really appreciate your time. Congratulations once again. We're really proud of you and the rest of the team for winning the Copa America. Jersey swap. It's tradition here. Are you switching jerseys? Probably not with Argentina, based on what we just heard, but with any other countries or any players, like, wow, because we have our own stories about switching jerseys with players and people we went up against that we admired, or friends that were playing on other teams. Do you have a good jersey swap story?
I don't. This is selfish.
Well, we got to change that. We're going to come back and make that happen.
We do. This is selfish of me, but I have not selfish of me. This is great. I have my 2 daughters, so I love to give them my jerseys, but also I cherish these moments for myself. Yeah.
All right. If there's one player then that you could change a jersey with,
let's go.
Who would be the one guy? Like, you got to have that jersey.
Anybody in the world.
Anyone you want. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. So my mother's full German and my dad's from Michigan. So we're all Detroit sports, go Lions. And I grew up on the German national team as well, but go USA. And I would say this is going to be cliche, but I've been a fan of his forever. Thomas Muller. I've grown up on him.
We can make that happen.
We
can make that happen.
We can make that happen.
When I transitioned out of Ranger Battalion and I was kind of going the struggles after my injuries, I was watching the Euros, I believe it was in 2012. I was following those guys, and that kind of almost ignited the love for the game again. So I was following them deeply, and I've been a fan of him ever since. I mean, well before that, but big Bayern fan. And yeah, he's just got the personality, he's got the swagger, and I just enjoy him a lot.
No, I love that. That's a good shout. We'll see what we can do.
Work on that one.
We might know some people that know Thomas Muller, but Josh Brunais, thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time. Congratulations again. We cannot wait for the World Cup next November, and keep working your ass off, man. It's leading to good things. All
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Give the team our very best.
Will do.
Josh Brunais.
Great to see you, man.
That is awesome.
Holy cow, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I actually think I'm going to run through a wall for that guy. I feel like we got a good chance in the World Cup next November. So I'm excited.
I feel like we need him to address the full team one day, like right before the World Cup. Like he needs to stand up in front of the room, right? I literally I have chills because I'm thinking about my day today. 10 o'clock. Call it what you want. Then we're going into the studio to do the pregame. Then I'm calling a game, and then we're going. And I'm like, I just said to myself, like I was listening, I'm like, shut the F up. Like, just go do it. Like that's what I said to myself. Just go and do it, man. Unbelievable.
When you hear a person like Josh going to service to serve our country, and helicopter crashing, guys are burning, guys are on fire, and he's pulling them out. 14 people, he saved their lives. On top of that, he's like moved by serving our country and being out there and grinding. And then he's talking about, the depression he has because, he's out there trying to help some of the vets that are at Guantanamo Bay, and he's helping them out. And all of a sudden he's going through these difficult times in his life. And all of a sudden he goes, you know what? Soccer is what pulls me out. The sport of going out and competing for my country, but the joy that I have to play this every day. And this is what gives me life. If you can't get moved by that, hang him up. Do something else. I'm telling you right now, like that.
Yeah.
He is such an impressive person.
Man.
It's
incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible story. And I think what's relatable too is that he had ups and he had some downs, and he's fought through those downs to get back up. And it really does speak to how powerful the sport can be and that you get to be part of something bigger than yourself. And I think when you lose that identity, I'm sure as a soldier, and you don't have that anymore, very similar to us when we retired. I struggled for about 9 months after I retired. Like I don't know who I am without my team and being a part of that.
There's a lot of guys who struggle with that. I'd say a majority of guys struggle with that.
And we've all talked to a few, I'm sure, along the way. And that's we could have a whole episode just on that alone. But I can understand why he's thriving in this space again, especially as a leader. I wanted to ask him about wearing the captain's armband for the U.S. because I know that was very special to me when I had that opportunity as well. But yeah, thank you so much to Josh for coming on the show. Thank you for everybody for hanging out with us as always. And we'll be coming back at you on Thursday live here on the Glosso America YouTube channel, 10 a.m. Eastern. And it should be a good week. So enjoy the Champions League. Hopefully our guys absolutely crush it. And we'll see you in a couple days.
Jimmy.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, all right, Mr. Oxygen Sucker. You're the king of it. Oxygen sucking Chuck. That's your new nickname right here. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you soon. Later.